On today's episode of Detailing Basics, I'm going to show you how to deep clean your car's carpets and mat to go from this minging mess to this freshly detailed look without the need for an expensive carpet shampoo machine. Welcome to Detailing Basics, where I teach you easy to learn, cost-effective methods to keep your car looking better for longer. Now, car mats are an area of a car that take a real beating. They're under constant attack from dirt and grime, and sometimes vacuuming alone isn't the solution. So, many mats do have patches of dirt and grime and stains and marks on there that just vacuuming the carpet isn't going to remove. Now, what is a cost-effective and simple way to remove these marks and stains without the need for an expensive carpet shampoo machine? Well, let's find out. This is the interior of my Audi A7 3-litre TDI Black Edition. It's not pretty, but it's my daily. First thing we're going to need to do is remove the mat from the car. By the way, this process can be applied to fixed carpets too, to a certain extent, but stay tuned because at the end I'll explain why that's not always possible. The mats in the Audi are one of its best features. They're really plush and thick, but they're also dirt hoarders, which makes them the perfect candidate for a deep clean. Okay. We need a surface to work on. Now, here's a quick tip for you. If you have a block pave style drive, then don't try to clean your mats on it. You'll end up chasing the sand around, plus when you lay the mat on the drive, the back will get covered in sand and this will transfer to the inside of the car. The first thing I like to do is clean the backside of the mat by laying it face down, vacuuming it and giving it a quick wipe down. The next thing we need to do is give the carpets a good brush to remove most of the loose contaminants and dirt. We follow this with a vacuum to remove as much of the debris as possible. My mats attract a lot of sand, which is one of the most difficult things to remove. The best thing I have found is to keep brushing and vacuuming throughout the cleaning process, and the more you clean the carpet, the more it comes to the surface. Once you've removed as much as possible, it's time to start the deep clean. Assess the mat to see where you have darker patches of ground-in dirt. These areas will need more of the cleaning solution and more attention. But unless they're heavy stains, they should be easily removed. On this mat we have two dark areas, one in the middle and one at the top. So onto the cleaning. You can either use a dedicated upholstery cleaner, a carpet cleaning spray, or I find a standard all-purpose cleaner, diluted at around 10:1 to be great for cleaning carpet, plus it saves you having to buy extra products. Spray the carpet liberally, but don't soak it. In the areas where you had heavier marks, apply a little more product to loosen the dirt and just allow it to soak in for a few minutes. Now you can use a stiff bristle brush and brush the cleaner into the carpet. Now this is okay after you've done a deep clean, but unless you've got arms like Popeye, then we're going to need something with a little bit more power. This is a drill brush and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It comes with adapters so that you can fit it into most drills, and even comes with a threaded adapter so that you can use it in most DA polishers. I'm going to use it in my drill. Now, I don't recommend that you use a corded drill, as these tend to have more torque than cordless drills. Also, most drills have a setting of 1 or 2 for the speed. Set it to the slowest and then using the trigger, use about half power on the slowest speed, and I find that that's the best. This way it doesn't grab or pull the fibres from the mat. Start working the cleaner all across the carpet, working in a cross-hatching method, so that's left to right, then up to down, and this will ensure that you get all of the mat. I recommend having someone hold the mat for you, or, like I am, stand over it and hold it in place with your feet. Just make sure your shoes are nice and clean. This will stop the mat from moving and keep the surface you're working on nice and flat. Pay a little more attention to the areas with the extra dirty patches. Remember to keep wiping the surface to remove any of the dirt while it's still suspended in the cleaner, and applying more cleaner as you work your way along. You'll notice that the mat becomes a more uniform colour and that the pile becomes softer. Continue working the surface until you feel happy with how clean it is. Then give the mat another vacuum to remove the suspended dirt. I don't have a wet and dry vacuum and there is very little liquid on the surface, so I've never had it cause a problem using a standard vacuum cleaner. I like to use a lint roller to remove any last remaining bits of fluff and sand or grit that have risen to the top and are not so easy to remove with the vacuum. Brush the now very soft carpet in one direction. You could stop here, but there's one obvious step that we could do. Let's put some stripes in. A quick tip if you struggle getting your line straight is to run a painter's tape line through the middle of the mat. This will give you a guide to work from. Start by dampening the mat with your cleaner. I find this helps to set the stripes. Using your stiff bristle brush, which would be a brush like I have, or a smaller nail brush depending on the width of stripe that you want. Brush from one end of the mat to the other in one motion, following your tape guide. Next, using your first line as a guide, brush from one end to the other in the opposite direction, and then repeat this for the rest of the mat and you'll have that freshly detailed look. Now all that's left is to do the rest of the car. Now, when it comes to fixed carpets, there are different types. Some cars have good quality fitted carpets and some not so much. The Audi, for example, has superb mats, but if you try to use a brush on the fixed carpet, it pulls the pile out and it can become what can only be described as hairy. The carpet is not really suitable to be cleaned using this method. You'll need to use a lot more of a gentle brush to clean this carpet. This isn't always the case though. Some cars, BMWs for instance, have a really good quality carpet that can be cleaned in this manner, but I'd try to keep this to mats only just to be on the safe side. But again, it's not always suitable for all mat types. The Ferrari mats are really thin and you can clean them using this method, but you really need to work slowly and carefully. Also, if you have cheap mats like this, then I wouldn't recommend this method as it won't work too well and may damage the mat. It's just a case of trying in an inconspicuous area to see if the process will work. It works with 95% of mats, but just exercise caution as always. So now we've cleaned the mats, what can we do to keep them in the best condition? Well, you're gonna have to wait for the next episode to find out, but until then, please like, subscribe to stay up to date with the channel, and comment below if you have any questions or tips to share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.